Hey everybody, welcome to Big Valley Living. Thanks for stopping by again. Tonight we're going to make caprese salad, and if you've never had caprese salad before, it's a fairly simple dish and it's really refreshing, and we tend to really enjoy it throughout the summer. Right now we don't have homegrown tomatoes, but the main ingredients are fresh tomatoes, fresh pressed garlic, olive oil, fresh basil, and mozzarella cheese. So we're going to do a little twist on it that makes it fun for these holidays. Stick around and I'll show you the surprise. Okay, I've got everything cleaned off and ready to start assembling. There are a few things that I want to go over with you before I start slicing. And one of the things that I want to talk about is the knives that we're going to use, okay? I've already peeled these cloves of garlic, but I kept this knife out because I'll also be using it on the cheese to cut the cheese. And anyway, use a good, wide knife when you're smashing your garlic like that so that you can take the paper off if you're using fresh garlic. Please do not use jarred garlic because it just isn't very good and it's probably not grown in the United States. I'll just leave that where it's at. Another thing that my husband got me last year as a gift in the summertime was an actual tomato knife. And you can see that it's serrated here and it has this handy little prong so that you can, dig out the stem side if you want to do that to make them pretty. And then this is the old trusty Pampered Chef garlic press. I've had this for 15 years or better. I have purchased some when I haven't been able to find this, and they break. Whatever I buy at the store, it can't withstand the pressure of doing some good ripe garlic. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew about those nifty tools before we start slicing. So what I'm going to do is get my garlic pressed. And it's actually going to end up, I'm going to mix the garlic and the olive oil the same way that you would be making a salad dressing. And that way I'll get all of the garlic kind of interspersed when it goes over, when I drizzle it over the tomatoes and cheese. So if you've watched previous videos where I've crushed garlic, you know that in this particular garlic press you could put the cloves of garlic in here with the skin on and you'll get a lot of garlic, but I like to get as much as I can. This is probably just shy of a tablespoon. It was 4 decent sized cloves, and I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my knife. You can see I've already had a little casualty there. That's not unusual in this house. And so I'm going to be very careful because our knives are super sharp. And I want this to be a clean cut. I haven't cut a tomato open for quite a while, you guys. We haven't had any homegrown tomatoes. I did buy these at the store today and I'm mangling this. Here, I was going to tell you how easy it was. There we go. Okay, so I'll just put this over here out of the way. And I'm going to do 1 tomato at a time because this is going to be a salad for JJ and I tonight, and I really don't want to have that much. So you can see, if you don't want to use that end part because you want it to look gorgeous, you can just eat that as a little snacky. The best tomatoes would be to use heirloom tomatoes for this. The store that I ordinarily shop at had a really good deal on them and I missed it, and everybody else got them this morning, so I got these vine ripened tomatoes at the grocery store. Also, once you start gardening, or if you have access to heirloom tomatoes, get some that have less of this membrane, although this is delicious, don't get me wrong. But you'll get a meatier tomato if you get an heirloom. You'll have less of this and you'll have more of the tomato meat. That's just a little tip for you. I think I am going to go ahead and do the second tomato. See, it just grabs that like that, pulls it out. It's great. I don't like the slices of tomatoes so thick that they're hard to just break off with your fork. So these are probably between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch thick. Good sized slices, but not too crazy. And if you have dogs, I have dogs. My dogs like the ends of tomatoes, so what we don't eat, they beg for. Okay, I'm gonna get one more slice out of this. Very gently because I don't want to cut myself again. Okay, well, that was more than I needed. I'm gonna get that out of the way. And I've washed my basil, but some of the pieces are a little bit large, so I'm going to take this bigger one and cut it into a couple of pieces. And these knives are nice and sharp. I mean, they're just taking care of business. Thank you, dear, for sharpening all the knives for me over the weekend. So to ensure that the garlic doesn't stick to the bottom of the jar that I'm going to shake this quasi dressing in, I'm going to go ahead and put the olive oil in first. This is going to be, I'm going to start with approximately 1/3 to a 1/2 cup of olive oil. It's going to go over the top and dress the salad. And that is right about a 1/2 cup. Daisy's getting herself a nice drink of water because it's a hot day here in the Big Valley. And she was just outside chasing squirrels with Leo. Okay, so I'll put that in there. And I have a lid right here. I'm gonna wipe my hands off so they don't get sticky with garlic. And so just, you can use a mason jar with a tight lid if you want. They make plastic lids. You can get them at like Target. You get 4 lids for something like, I don't know, $3 or $4. And get the black ones because they seal better if you're going to put anything in your refrigerator like salad dressing. So I just did that, and you can see that it is just all nice and mixed together. So I'll just set that off to the side. And now I am going to start with the cheese. So I like to just have everything.
Are you gonna fold in the cheese?
What does fold in the cheese mean? No, I'm not gonna fold in the cheese. You fold in the cheese.
Fold in the cheese.
Okay. I hope you all like Schitt's Creek as much as we do. Okay, so I'm gonna slice this cheese. Stop. I'm gonna end up getting copyright, put into copyright.
Oh, I'm sure.
HE double hockey sticks there. Okay. I'm just trying to do this gently. This is the knife that bit me earlier. So, careful. Now, in a minute, I'm going to show you the holiday secret that makes it fun. Okay, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Here's a surprise. To make it fun, get yourself a star-shaped little cookie cutter, teeny tiny little guy. This is probably about 1 inch to 1.5 inches from one of the star tips to the other star tip. And it just makes it so festive. Look, isn't that cute? Okay. And then you have some cheese scraps. I usually just tuck them in to the salad itself so that everybody has a little extra cheese. And the only bummer here is that you really aren't going, you don't really have it where you can, you know, get more. So that's the only downside, is that you will have leftover cheese. But has anybody ever said, oh darn, there's too much cheese? I don't know if I said it, but this recipe is going to be keto friendly. It has olive oil and garlic and tomatoes. I know some people can't have tomatoes at the beginning of that, so don't do it at the very beginning. Okay, so for the purposes of showing you how to assemble your caprese salad, give that a little shake. Okay, and then I need to make sure that this is within the camera frame, cameraman. And sorry, that's a little bit of pepper that got on there. I'm gonna move that forward and set it down so I don't spill. So put just a tiny bit on the bottom so that you can get a little bit of flavor underneath. Just kind of swish it around a little bit there. Okay, so now we're gonna do traditional caprese salad stuff here. So I am going to do tomato, and I'm gonna put just the tiniest bit of that on there. And then basil and your cheese. And we're just gonna repeat that. Just one of the cut pieces of basil. Another thing I would like to also note while I'm doing this is that fresh basil is obviously preferred. And if you don't have fresh basil in your yard yet, I think your best bet is to buy one of these little plants at the grocery store. You can get them at Trader Joe's or really any grocery store at this point, at this time of year. At least you can in California. And by doing that, after you make this, go ahead and plant it in your garden and harvest it all summer long. And if you do that, you want to harvest the leaves from the bottom so that the top growth will continue to grow. But you also need to be careful that you don't let it go to seed. So if you grow basil, harvest often, don't be afraid of it, and it'll grow all summer long. You can make a really nice basil, cheese, anybody? Had to get one more little bit of cheese. And we are going to put that one on there and call it good. And there we go. So at this point, what you want to do is shake up this dressing. And what I'm going to actually do when this dressing is finished on the salad is probably add about a half a cup of fresh lemon juice to it and make lemon juice dressing for salads for the week. Now, I want it to be a little more garlicky than that. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of garlic salt on top, I think, and because it's got this garlic infused oil already. So I'll put some, sorry guys, maybe I shouldn't try and, there. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic salt on top and some fresh black pepper. Okay, so just regular old McCormick garlic salt. And ideally, you're gonna do what I'm gonna do right now. I'm making this salad, and then what I'm going to do is let it marry, loosely covered with some plastic wrap in the refrigerator for, I don't know, maybe about an hour. That's all I really need. And if you want an option, which I don't think is keto friendly, but if you don't really want to worry about it, is to get yourself some nice balsamic vinegar. And you can put that on top as well. Okay. And that just kind of adds a little bit more flair to it if you wish. And that is it. That is our holiday caprese salad right there. Isn't that adorable? So everybody always comes over on the 4th of July, and this is one of the favorites. I usually make about 4 trays like this because we have 15 to 20 people. And yes, I'm hoping that we're going to do that again this year. Thanks a lot for stopping by Big Valley Living and making our holiday caprese salad with us. If you like this video, please like it, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see some more cool ideas.
Don't forget the bell. And see you later, everybody.
Goodbye. Be kind. Thanks again for visiting.